Okay, so what we're going to talk about now are the keys to having expression around women. Okay, so how do you actually express yourself when you're around a girl? Like we talked about, the identity, who are you? We talked about, being yourself, but now we're going to talk about how to express yourself when you're around girls, because self-expression is everything. Being able to express that part of you that actually attracts the woman. Being is great, but you also have to learn how to convey that being when you approach a woman and when you meet a woman. And there are 4 different keys to actually having this full expression. We're going to crack into those now, okay? So the first one is her looks don't equal value. The second is exercising entitlement. The third is using emotional subcommunication versus logical words. And the fourth is massive relaxation. So let's crack into the first one. So looks aren't value. What does this mean? Again, like I've been talking about, I talked about this earlier. Again, these concepts repeat each other. It's about how you use them in different contexts. So every single girl is conditioned to believe that she's high value because she looks good. Again, you go into a nightclub and the second you approach a girl, the second you say hi, you are wanting to fuck her because of her value, because of her looks, right? She's high value because your looks. It's going to be called the buyer-seller dynamic. I teach this on programs. It's like you don't want to be the position of the seller selling yourself. You want to be in position of the buyer. The problem is that it's so hard because as a man, supposedly, because the girl looks good, she generally is the person that is, the seller, or she's the buyer. She's the one that is, has all the cards and is allowing you to get her pussy. Right? But you have to learn how to change that. You have to learn how to reframe this. And the biggest key is understanding that looks are not value. Her looks don't equal value. And also, you can't truly express yourself until you see yourself on the same level or above the same level as the people you're talking to. For example, if you were to go and talk to the President of the United States, we'll not make any Trump jokes right now because I could go on a whole tangent there, but we'll stop. Let's pretend that you respect the President of the United States. Assuming Donald Trump is president by the time this comes out. Yeah, let's assume that you are talking to the President of the United States. You would have respect for the President and you would see him as more high value than yourself, which means that the way you would act around the President wouldn't be the way you would act around one of your bros or a guy friend. And so many guys treat girls the exact same way. Like they see a girl that's hot and they act like that girl is so high value that they have to act like the girl's not even on their level, right? They act like the girl's not even on their fucking level. And this is literally the cause of a lot of the stifledness and the suppression of self-expression that a lot of guys should have, because they don't actually act like themselves around women because they see the girl as high value, so they treat her like she's a high value person. And the only reason they see her as high value is because of her looks, right? So the second you remove that aspect of, the girl is high value because of her looks, that's when you're going to be able to unlock your own emotions and unlock her emotions through fully expressing yourself, right? So you have to understand that there's this social conditioning matrix. There's a social conditioning matrix that says the girl is high value. But what you have to do is you have to realize that the value actually comes from within yourself. So you have to stop taking value and placing it on other people and measuring your value based on theirs, and just measure your value based on yourself. Remember earlier we talked about your value coming from the risks you take. We talked about the value coming from your freedom of self-expression. Things like that is where your value actually comes from. That's what makes you a man that is worth talking to, a man that's worth giving time to, because you have the ability to do those things, right? And you want to convey that when you're talking to a girl. You don't want to convey the value necessarily, but you want to be able to freely express yourself. So the value within yourself is what? Part of that value is understanding that you are the most high value person in the environment. You are at all times, it's like at all times, I am the most high value guy in the environment. It's like no matter what fucking happens, I'm always the most high value. It's like regardless of the girl and how hot she is, I'm more high value. Now, it's not a competition. Some guys kind of go negative with this and they're like, put that girl down, she's just a dumb bitch. I mean, we're not going there. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Like, girls have fucking value because they're people, because, they can accomplish shit the same way you can. But your value should not be based on how hot she is. So if she's a hotter girl, it's not like you have to act different because she's a hot girl. No, girls all struggle with the same thing. Remember we talked about the female psychology chapter, the video about female psychology, about how every woman needs to fulfill that role of the beautiful princess. That's so true. That's why I wanted to start with that, so you guys could have some insights into that. Like literally, your value as a man comes from you being the highest value person in the environment because of the risks you take. But it comes from within yourself. Even if there's another guy there that's taking more risks than you, it doesn't mean that he is more high value. You measure your value based on yourself. You measure your value from within. You also have to trust yourself, trust your decision making, trust that every decision that you make in any situation is the right decision. Again, this is something that a lot of guys struggle with because the frame that they come from when they're talking to girls, the way they exercise their entitlement, which is what we'll do next. We'll talk about next, is they question themselves. They question where things are coming from. They're like, okay, if I do this move, is it gonna work? But you have to just go for the fucking move, take the risk, and express yourself that way. So you have to understand, looks don't equal value. When you strip away the layer of valuing a girl for her looks, that is when you can freely express yourself, because she's no longer up here and you're down here. No, nothing's over there. You're not measuring your value based on anyone. You're not looking at the girl and measuring your value on her. It's just you. It's just, I'm high value and that's it. There's no other thing. A lot of guys ask me, they're like, okay, but how do you reframe others' value? No, I don't reframe anything. It's just me. Like I care about my own value and I give out value to others. That's all. It's not like, how do I compare to this person? If it's a high value girl, no, I don't even care what her value is. I don't give a shit what her value is. Really don't. Now, it's not like I'm looking down at her like she's low value, right? Because that's what the other half is. It's like some guys will go to the other end of the spectrum and they'll put girls down. It's like two ends of the community and pick up. Like some guys think they're shit, and then other guys, those are the guys that don't get good. And there's guys that like get reasonably good, but then they think women are shit. But you don't do that. It's a healthy balance of you just know the champion's ego. I am high value. I have entitlement. I deserve success. Not deserve, because like I'm a special snowflake, but I am gonna get success because I put in the fucking work. I have the value in myself as a man. Okay. Now the other part of this is exercising entitlement. This is kind of the physical action that you take to show your expression. This is how you show your expression. And this is actually really interesting. And it's something that's, when I was writing this, I really had to think about, how do I teach this? How do I do this? But there's two halves to properly exercising entitlement with girls. The first half is knowing what you want, and the second half is aggressively making what you want happen. Okay. So the first part is knowing what you want. There is a macro trend and there's a micro trend. So the macro part of knowing what you want is knowing your purpose and your life mission, okay? It's impossible to exercise entitlement with women or just entitlement in life if you don't actually know what you want out of it, okay? And this is so true. You have to know what you truly want. Like, you have to know what you want out of life. You have to know what your purpose is. You have to know what your mission is, what you are trying to accomplish in your life, okay? And this is so fucking important. So many guys just fall short of this because they put priorities on things that distract them from their purpose, right? You have to exercise entitlement. You can exercise entitlement when you know what you want. And the macro version of this is knowing your life purpose and your mission. Like, I'll give an example of myself. Right now, my purpose in life, now my purpose doesn't have to be necessarily giving constant value to others, but my purpose for me right now, the way I see it, is to leave a legacy for myself where I contributed to other people's well-being. It's inherently selfish, actually. My purpose is inherently selfish. It's not a purpose of giving to others like a Mother Teresa or, I want to give so much value. No. I want to leave a legacy for myself. I want people to know, like when I die, like right now, my purpose is I want to build up a foundational legacy for myself, but I want that legacy to be based on me changing other people's lives and getting other people results in their life. Again, not because sorry to bust your bubble if this is maybe what you thought. It's not because I feel so bad for people. I want to help so many guys because I feel a need to help them and I want to just give so much value. No, I really don't. My goal is to leave a legacy through helping other people build themselves up, because that's going to leave a legacy for me. I want to be known as the person who was able to do that, who was able to help people change their lives. Right? Help people take action. Not because I'm a charity worker or because I feel bad for you guys. It's because I do want to contribute. It's because that's what I want my legacy to be based upon. Right? So you have to know what your mission and your purpose is. And nothing is going to distract me from that purpose. And when I act in life, when I go through life, I am entitled with that purpose. I exercise my entitlement through that purpose. Right? You have to know yourself. In order to exercise entitlement, you have to think and write down, what is your purpose? Like, what is your purpose right now? I'd say one big purpose for a lot of people, and a good purpose, a healthy purpose, is to have amazing peak experiences in life, to take action and enjoy different experiences in your life, right? So that when you take action, it's like, I know that I'm going to get these kind of results, and these are peak experiences that I experience in my life. These are peak things that I experience that make me say, hey, I'm happy that I fucking did this. I experienced this, I experienced that. And that's something you can't buy. You can't buy that shit. That could be your purpose. That's one potential purpose. What is your mission in life? Like, what is your mission? What are you going to do? What are you going to do long term? What is your goal? Now, part of this is the micro version of knowing what you want, knowing what you want on a micro scale. So a lot of guys, they think it's all about, the macros, like I have to have this big overarching purpose in life, but part of it is the micro as well, the micro parts. So knowing your type of girl, knowing what experiences you're open to, right? There's some people that are like open to crazy experiences sexually, some people that are open to crazy experiences in life. Knowing what you want is how you exercise entitlement. Because you're saying, I am willing to aggressively go for the things I want. And that's the next part of entitlement, right? Knowing what you want on a micro scale is important. Knowing the type of girls you want as well. Like the type of girl that I want, I'm going to fucking go for this. I'm going to fucking go for it. Why? Because you have the champion's ego and because this is what you want. And because of that ego, you are entitled to get what you want, but with taking action. You can't do it just because you can sit down and I deserve this like a little baby, but it's no, I take action and I can get what I want because I take action on that. I give out value. I take action on what I want. Okay? So how do you do this? You have to aggressively make what you want happen. So the things you want to happen, those goals you have, those macro goals or the small goals, you have to make what you want happen. You have to take risks. Remember we talked about this before. Risk taking. This is probably one of the biggest core concepts I teach when it comes to inner game and self-development. Taking risks. You must take risks in your dating life. Like you have to take risks in life as well, but right now we're talking about dating. Risk taking is the biggest thing that caused me to jump through hoops. I learned from people, but I wouldn't have learned and gotten better if I didn't take risks on the things that I learned. I'm always taking risks. I'm always looking for ways I can take new risks in my life. Shooting this program was a risk for me. Shooting this program is a big risk. Think of the name, the Fuckboy frame. Like that's a huge risk and maybe I could have gone more conservative, but I wanted to put something out there that would have a fucking impact. One, because it's better for my business, because it's gonna be viral because the name, people are just gonna hear about this. And it's like the Fuckboy frame, who would create that? It's polarizing, so that's more sales. The second thing is, it's something that a lot of guys just never ever talk about. No one talks about like this one little aspect. It's so small, like this, what's these traits that other guys who get success with women have that guys who are almost there never get? Guys who almost have success never get this. It's that fuckboy frame. That's why I wanted to create this, right? That's a huge risk right there. You have to take fucking risks. Move out your house if you're living with your parents. Fucking move. Take risks in the kind of women you meet. When you go out, are you approaching the same girls every time? Are you approaching the same average girls that are below your standards? Sacrifice your results a little bit and approach only hotter girls. This applies to women as well. Plan ahead. Instead of thinking, okay, tonight I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this same thing that I always do, plan ahead of how you're going to take a risk that night. This applies to women. This strongly applies to women. Plan fucking ahead. Plan ahead of how you're going to take a risk that night. Plan what you're going to do in the future. Plan, okay, these are the actions I'm going to take that are going to get me success, right? Learn how to exercise entitlement. You can't get success. You can't reach that full expression, that you, again, that being, if you can't exercise entitlement. You have to exercise, I am going to go for what I want. I deserve this because I've taken action on it. I'm going to take action on these principles and I'm going to aggressively get what I fucking want. You cannot get success if you don't exercise strong entitlement. You have to take these actions, these steps to exercise entitlement and to assert yourself. Okay, the next thing is using emotional subcommunication versus logical words. Now, this is probably one of the hardest parts of expressing yourself around girls for everyone, for me too. Like, this was one of the biggest things I struggled with. Now it's probably the strength of my game, actually. But the reason why it's hard for guys to express themselves around women, again, is because of the first two things we talked about. Well, the first thing is the value thing. They think that the woman has higher value, so they rely on words and, okay, let me talk my way out of this situation so I can get on her level, right? But once, again, you strip away the value that you think the girl has and she's just like any other person, she's like one of your friends, once you strip that away, then you can rely on some communication. How do you do this? Well, let's break down what does it mean to have proper subcommunication. We're going to talk about this more later when we go into the taking action module coming up. But the subcommunication when you're talking to women comes down to things that you say non-verbally. So verbal game, logical words can only take you so far, right? Logical words are very surface level. Remember, the whole purpose of this program is teaching you how to unlock the girl's surface level, the girl's deeper level emotions, instead of just this little surface on top. It's how to access the deeper tiers of her emotions, right? But what happens is, when you are interacting purely with words, you're cutting out most of your human communication, because a lot of human communication is nonverbal. That's how you know whether someone has good intentions or bad intentions, based on their nonverbal communication. You can access those deeper layer emotions of a girl when you properly have sub-communication, when you have proper sub-communication, right? And that's massively key. One of the biggest sub-communication points is the eyes. The eyes tell everything. There's a proper saying, there's a saying that's an English saying, an American saying. I think it's American, I'm not sure where it comes from, but they say the eyes are the window to the soul. And this is something you guys may have heard. But you can learn how to visualize your intentions and speak through your eyes. This is something that it took me years to cultivate and to learn how to do. Like, I had to learn how to speak through my eyes without actually verbally talking. I had to learn how to speak using my eyes. I had to learn how to speak through my eyes, right? Speaking through your eyes is one of the most powerful things you can do. But before you do this, you have to visualize what your intent is. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will go out, and before I even approach a woman, I will visualize fucking her. Like, I'll visualize fucking her. The other day, this is, again, from when you watch this, this will be probably 5 months from now or 4 months from now. But the other day, I pulled these girls back to our place for like a threesome type pull. And it was a very quick approach. And I approached them very fast, and I pulled them within like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Less than that, actually, probably like 10 minutes. And what happened was, when I approached this girl, in seconds, I saw her and I instantly visualized her naked. I was like, this girl's gonna be beautiful. Like, I could just see myself fucking her, right? And my intent was shown with my eyes. The way I looked at her, the way I touched her, the way I communicated with her, my intent was shown with my eyes. That is what you have to do. So your intent comes through your eyes. You show and you visualize your intentions before you even approach. Visualize yourself fucking the girl. Visualize yourself being with her. Visualize her body. And then exercise that intent through your eyes. That is subcommunication. Subcommunication is what you say without actually saying it. It's how you say things without actually having to say the words. Right? That is subcommunication. Speak through your eyes. Learn how to speak through your eyes. The other part of this is facial expressions. Something I call the all-knowing or mysterious look. Actually, it's funny that I wrote that down. I didn't think I would have worded it like that, but I wrote the all-knowing mysterious look, or the cocky face. Right? So what I do is, when I'm talking to girls, a lot of times I'll have a very, very cocky look on my face. Kind of like little girl. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, little girl. Naughty little girl. It's this all-knowing look. It's this kind of look like, I know everything. It's this cocky little all-knowing look. And you have to focus on it. It's hard to do, but you have to, there's just different little points you can do, and we're going to get more into subcommunication later when we go in, again, the taking action module. But learning how to use subcommunication is part of expressing yourself around women. Learning how to tap into those deeper layer emotions and unlock her emotions is part of subcommunication, right? And part of expressing yourself. So learning how to have that all-knowing or mysterious look. It's like when you open a girl, one thing I'll do is I'll lick my lips a lot. It's like this. Right? It's like when I open a girl, it's kind of like, I'll bite my lips. Don't get seduced through the camera. Don't worry. But I'll do that look, right? It's kind of like the girl senses the way I'm looking at her on my face. My intent is completely shown through my face. It's like, I'm going to fuck your brains out through my face. Yeah, straight up. I'm going to fuck your brains. I'm going to fuck you so good. I'm going to fuck you so good. It's shown through my face, right? I convey that through my expression. And the girl resonates with that. The girl succumbs to that. The girl falls into that reality. The girl falls into that frame. Literally, the girl falls into that fucking frame. What happens is, when you do this, when you convey this body language, this subcommunication, you tap the emotions that are not surface layer, because you're not relying on words. When you rely on words, you start to panic and you start to do. When you rely on words, you have to convey thoughts. Like right now, as I'm teaching this, it's much better to learn from me if I was able to sit and just talk and vibe with you. Of course, but this is a online course, which is great. So now I have to rely on my verbals to communicate these thoughts to you, versus me showing you, or versus you going out, maybe even applying it with like another mentor. I'm going to have to verbally express these thoughts to you. Same thing when you're interacting with a girl. Same thing when you're talking to a girl and taking action on certain principles with women. You have to learn how to express yourself non-verbally, because that is deeper layers of expression. Those are the deeper layers of emotional expression. You have to learn how to hit those. The other part of this subcommunication is body language. And it's just generally the way that you carry yourself, right? How do you carry yourself when you're around beautiful women? When you're engaging girls, how do you carry yourself? How do you express yourself? Are you expressing yourself in a way that is needy? Are you expressing yourself in a way that is showing, hey, I still see you as high value because of your looks? Or is your body showing, I don't actually give a fuck? I don't actually care. Again, we're going to get into all these body language hacks later, but is your body positioned in a way that shows I don't give a fuck? Look at me right now, my body language right now. It's leaned back, I'm relaxed, I'm chilled out. The way I'm positioning my body is the positioning of, I don't give a fuck. This is kind of how I am on dates. On dates, I'm a little even more grounded, a little more masculine, because I'm creating a product, so I want to make it look good. So I'm very conscious of my body and where I'm positioned. But when I'm on a date, when I'm interacting with a woman in a club or during the day, you'll see the infield footage. What is my expression like? What is my body language showing? What is my body demonstrating to her? Right? Exercising entitlement. Understanding that looks are not value. And emotional subcommunication instead of logical words. There's a fourth principle, and this is huge. This is probably the thing that I learned from my mentor Pierre the most, who you'll see in the Mentor Manifestos. He is probably the guy that started me on this path of elite level game and teaching guys success with women. It's learning how to be truly relaxed. We talked about this. We scratched the surface of it earlier, but we're going to go into it a little more detailed right now. So learning how to truly relax. What does that mean? What is relaxation? Let's define it. Relaxation is comprised of two things. It's the root of becoming yourself. A man who is truly relaxed is truly himself. Until you become truly relaxed, you're not yourself. And again, what is relaxation? It is when there is tension, when there is pressure on you and force to act a certain way to get approval or to win, you're fine not reacting to that and you're okay with that tension. Right? That's you becoming yourself. Being relaxed is essentially the being versus doing paradigm. When you're in the doing paradigm, you're not relaxed because you are at the effect of the environment around you. That's what state is. State is essentially you being at the effect. It's, I'm out in a nightclub, I have to be in state to get laid. Or doing street game, like yelling out like, I'm shy for no reason. Or like being super gamey for no reason. Saying like I'm gay or I have a small dick as a joke for no reason. Like all those little jokes, the 2 seconds, all those little things, the popular community slogans and lines that everyone uses. All these are used because you are not relaxed under tension. Because tension's there and you have to say something to handle the tension. Right? The second that you are comfortable with this tension and you need to act no other way than just what you feel. Where the girl could walk away and you'll just be like, it's all good. Or where the girl loves you and likes you and you're like, it's all good. I know I'm going to get her. The second you hit that without needing to do the game and needing to spike emotions. Now again, some of this is good here and there in the right context, but when you hit that point where there's pressure upon you and you don't react to it, when you are fine with that pressure, that, my friend, is when you hit a state of relaxation. That is being truly relaxed. It's, again, you being versus doing. It's you in the state of being versus doing. It's the root of you becoming yourself. It is you exercising who you are without needing to prove anything to the girl, without needing to show anything to the girl, without needing to demonstrate your value to the girl. You don't need to do that. It's you being versus doing. It's you going out and gaming and meeting girls without any fucking effort. That's how you express yourself around women. And women respond to that. Again, the more you relax, the more the feminine energy comes out. The more you relax, the more the woman's feminine energy can come out. The more that you are relaxed and you are yourself, the more the women's feminine energy is able to be expressed in that wider range of emotions. Again, if you're not relaxed, you're going to get surface level emotions because she's going to have to be the one that bears the brunt of the tension. But the second you can create and manage tension, when there's sexual tension, it's like, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to talk more or keep my verbal game up. The second you're fine with that and you're being, that's when the girl has to now handle it. That's when the girl now reacts to the tension because you're not reacting to it and she becomes more feminine. Because when she reacts to tension, she's more feminine, right? One of the biggest principles of becoming relaxed is removing the need for validation. And this is an advanced principle that we may talk about a little later in the program. Removing the need for external validation. Learning how to be the person that validates yourself. Like, you should not need to get validation from others in order to feel complete. Removing the need for validation from others. Removing the need for validation from women. Knowing that when a girl gives you that shit test, you can deflect it without doing game. Without having to resort to game mode. You, like, again, for me, one of the biggest things I get, I've said this, and if you see my YouTube channel, you see my videos, like, I told, like, girls will say to me, oh, you seem gay, or like, you're gay. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. Kind of like little girl, like, you cute little girl, no, I'm not gay. And I'll make out with her. Right? Or a girl, like, you're lucky to be here and have my time. Am I? Please tell me how. No game necessary. Just genuine, like, it's cute, it's funny to me. Again, all of this right now I'm talking is you may be confused. I mean, I think you may understand a lot of it, but some of it may be confusing because you're like, but how do I do it? Again, we're going to get into the taking action part, how to make shit happen. But you need to stop looking for validation. A lot of guys look for the validation. You know, if they're not getting the positive emotions from the girl, where the girl's like chasing them hardcore, it means the girl's not attracted. No, it's not that. We're going to get into the kinds of girls later. Different kinds of girls will give you different feedback. But removing this need for validation, removing the need for, I need approval from the girl. Removing the need of, I need the girl to respond to me this certain way. I need the girl to act this certain way in order for me to win. If you can do that, if you can remove that need for validation, where you are complete and you give yourself validation. We talked about it earlier. Remember the Justin Bieber, Assad Khalid principle. That is what makes you more attractive. That's what makes you relax, when you don't need her to validate you, because you don't panic. You don't panic under pressure. When there's that more tension, the girl gives you some challenge, you stop panicking. You don't freak out. How about your body positioning? This is another part of relaxation. We talked about it earlier in subcommunication body language, but body positioning. It's like, how are you positioned in your body? Is your body coming from a position of reactiveness? Or is your body coming from a position of cause, not effect? Are you reacting? Are you in reaction? Or are you at the cause? Where you position your body is the starting point, my friend. The validation, all this stuff, this is the internals, but here's the external that you can actually apply right now. You can go out today and practice it. Where you position your body. Where do you position yourself? When you're in the environment talking to a girl, where is your body positioned? Are you positioned in a way that's reactive? Again, having the drink and leaning in? Or are you leaned back and locked in? Are you leaned back on a surface, a bar counter, a bar, a wall? Or if you're during the day, are your legs crossed and your hands in your pockets, just chilled? Relaxed shoulders. That doesn't mean, you have to be hunched over, but are your shoulders relaxed? How is your breathing? Start by centering yourself and controlling your breathing. The meditation bonus, the bonus content, the meditation thing will help you a lot. The meditation, guided meditation and affirmations, that'll help you. Are you relaxed? How is your breathing? Are you centered and grounded? What is your breathing like? Are you tensing up? Is your breath tense? Be aware of it. A lot of guys will ask me, you may think this, how do I train myself for this? Like, Tim, you have to give me the exact recipe. This is a fucking recipe. This is it. Control your breathing. Start controlling your breathing. Start locking in and positioning your body in a way where you're not trying and chasing at all. Lean back and cross your legs, lean against the wall and cross your legs when you talk to a girl. Every fucking time without hesitation. Center your breathing at your core. When you begin to feel that anxiety, when you begin to feel that, God, that's a hot girl, I have to open her and okay, here we go, let's open. No. Being versus doing. Recenter yourself. This is not the game. This is not the game stuff that's going to get you success. We're going to get into that next module. The fun module. But this is the core. This is the real shit. This is how you get into the stage of being versus doing. This is how you express yourself to women. These are the behaviors that women value. This is the behavior. Again, that's not the breathing. It's not the breathing and the locking. They don't know if you're locking in or not. But what they pay attention to is where you're at. How do you come across? How do you express yourself? Right? Do you value her because of her looks? Are you looking at her like she's hot, fuck, she has more value? Are you exercising entitlement? Are you asserting yourself and asserting what you want? Are you exercising your entitlement? Are you saying, okay, this is the kind of girl I want, I'm going to go for this girl? Are you exercising your entitlement? Are you using emotional communication instead of logical words? Are you using words to win? Are you trying to use words to game the girl and get value? Are you trying to use words for that? Are you relaxed? How is your body? Where are you positioning your body? Are you positioning yourself in the spot of someone who is freaking out and socially unaware? Or are you relaxed and comfortable resting in tension? Where are you at? This, my friend, is the questions you need to be asking. So when it comes to self-expression and your self-identity, where you're at, how you communicate with women, it starts from within. It starts from within, and you want to get to that place of where you are being versus doing. You want to get to that place where it is you. Again, this is the recipe. This is the recipe here, my friends. This is what it is. It's where you are you, where you are not doing game. It's where you are so attractive, where you're so relaxed that the woman wants to open up to you. The game part is just the actions of leading. The game part is just the stuff you do to not fuck up. But the stuff that actually makes things work, this is what it is. It is your expression to her. It's how you see yourself. Okay? So the exercises that you had in this module, the exercises you had for these sections, apply them. And next we'll crack into module number 3, which is about taking action, how you can go out and you can start actually implementing the game stuff into your game, and you can actually start getting those peak results. But my friends, take what you've learned in these 2 modules, the first 2, module 1, module 2, and apply them. Don't just, hear it and, okay, this is awesome. I'm gonna listen to these things, but no, do the exercises. Start to create that healthy identity where you see yourself as a winner. You see yourself as a champion. You see yourself as the guy that is entitled. You see yourself as the guy that deserves success. Cultivate that champion's ego. We're going to go over it again in later modules in more depth and from a different angle. But that's what I want for you, my friends. Okay. You've completed module number 2. We'll crack into module number 3 right about now.